In today's session of Russian Revolution, we are going to study that how did this Russian Revolution come about. We will also study what were the social and political conditions in Russia when the revolution occurred. We have studied in the last class that in Europe, socialists represented in parliamentary politics. They participated and played their role in shaping legislation, but government continued to be run by conservatives, liberals, and radicals. But contrary to this, socialists took over the government in Russia through the October Revolution of 1917. Children, let's see the Russian Empire in 1914. In 1914, the Russia and its empire was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II. Tsar Nicholas II was the ruler of Russia in 1914. Children, the Russian Empire was so vast that it not only included Moscow and the territories around Moscow, but it also had present day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, part of Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. It also stretched to the Pacific and included today's Central Asian states as well as Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. Children, in Russian Empire, the majority religion was Russian Orthodox Christianity, which had grown out of the Greek Orthodox Church. Other religions which the Russian Empire included were Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, and Buddhists. Now let us see the economy and society of the Russian Empire. Do you know that majority of the Russian Empire's population, we can say that about 85% of the population were agriculturalists and earning their living from agriculture. Thus in Russian Empire, cultivators not only produced for their own needs but also for the market. That is why Russia was a major exporter of grain during that time. Children, as majority of the population was engaged in agriculture, industries in Russian Empire were very few and were found in pockets. Prominent industrial areas were St. Petersburg and Moscow. And of this industrial outputs, craftsmen undertook much of the production. But large factories existed alongside the crafts workshop. Children, in 1890, Russian railway network was extended. Foreign investment in Russian industry increased. Hence, many factories were set up. Coal production doubled, iron and steel output quadrupled. So, in this way, during 1890, there was a increase in the investment that was because of the foreign investment in Russian industries. Now, children, please note that most industry in Russian Empire was the private property of industrialists. To ensure minimum wages to factory workers and to ensure limited hours of work, government supervised large factories but could not prevent rules being broken. In craft units and small workshops, working days was sometimes 15 hours. In factories, it was 10 to 12 hours. Children workers were a divided social group. They were divided by their skill. Like metal workers, they considered themselves as aristocrat among the other workers. women made up around 31% of the factory labor force that was by 1914, but they were paid less than men. But despite division, workers did unite to strike work when they disagreed with employers about dismissal or work conditions. Thus, this led to frequent strikes in textile industries during 1816 and 1897 and in the metal industries during 1902. Children, in the Russian Empire, peasants cultivated most of the land in the countryside. But the nobility and the crown and the Orthodox Church owned large properties. At the same time, peasants too were divided like workers. Peasants were deeply religious. The nobles were not very popular among the peasants, and they got their power and position through their services to the Tsar. Peasants wanted the land of the nobles to be given to them. Children, you know that during the French Revolution, peasants respected nobles and fought for them. But unlike France, in Russia, peasants had no respect for the nobility. They refused to pay rent and even murdered landlords. In 1902, this occurred on large scale in South Russia, and in 1905, such incidents took place all over Russia. Children, Russian peasants were different from European peasants in another way. They pooled their land together periodically, and their commune, which was also known as mir, divided it according to the needs of the individual families. Children, the next topic in this chapter we are going to study is socialism in Russia. All political parties were illegal in Russia before 1914. In 1898, socialists who respected Marx's ideas founded the Russian Social Democratic Workers' Party, which operated as an illegal organization because of the government policy. Because all the political parties were illegal in Russia before 1914. The Russian Social Democratic Workers' Party set up a newspaper. It mobilized workers and organized strikes. Children, some Russian socialists were of the view that peasants and not the factory workers would be the main force of the revolution in Russia, and Russia could become socialist more quickly than other countries. Do you know why they felt so? It is because the Russian peasants' custom of dividing land periodically, as we discussed in the previous slides, and this made them a natural socialist. So, children, socialists were active in the countryside through the late 19th century. They formed the Socialist Revolutionary Party in 1900. This party struggled for peasants' rights and demanded that the land belonging to the nobles be transferred to the peasants. Now, let us see how Social Democrats thought about the peasants. Children, Social Democrats disagreed with the Socialist revolutionaries about peasants. Vladimir Lenin, who was one of the leaders of Social Democrats, felt that peasants were not one united group. Some were poor and some were rich. Some worked as laborers while others were capitalists who employed workers. Lenin was of the view that because of this huge gap and difference between the workers, they could not all be part of a socialist movement. Children, the party was also divided over the strategy of organization. Vladimir Lenin, who led the Bolshevik group, thought that in a repressive society like Tsarist Russia, the party should be disciplined and should control the number and quality of its members. But others, the Mensheviks, the other group, means the party was divided into two groups, the Bolshevik group and the Mensheviks. The Mensheviks thought the party should be open to all as it was in Germany. Okay, with this we come to the end of this session. Thank you.